dito tayo sa subject lines, okay? Subject lines, of course, ito yung nakikita natin when we open our emails. Then sa inbox, you could see different mga sender, then yung subject line ng emails nila. Okay, so ano bang job ng subject line? Okay, so its job is to stop the reader in their tracks. Okay, of course, gusto natin mabasa ang email natin, di ba? So that's one of the jobs of the subject line. I'm not sure if you were able to check yung templates na binigay ko sa inyo, which is in the files under our Facebook group. Yun yung mga purposes nila, different angles of getting people's attention. Okay? That's the number one job of subject lines. Kasi otherwise, hindi mababasa yung email mo na pinaghirapan mo. Sulatin, di ba? Next is to make a promise, explicitly or implicitly, that interests the readers. And lastly, evoke enough curiosity to compel them to keep reading the email. Okay, so recently I sent an email with the subject line, medyo awkward pero ihahag kita. So parang tataka ka, ano siya about, di ba? It evokes curiosity. Sorry, mali spelling. Curiosity, okay? So ano ba meron? But yun yung subject line. Actually, I just copied that headline, actually, subject line, from a text na nakuha ko. Okay, so interesting dong text niya. I'll put that as a subject line. So it evoke curiosity. Okay? The only job of the subject line, hindi mo kailangan ikwento ano yung purpose ng email. The only job of the subject line is to make the person open the email. From there, yun na yung job ng subject line. Don't put too much information kasi yun yung job ng copy ng email mo. Okay? With the approaches ng headlines, of course, yan, we mentioned about grabbing attention. It also screens and qualifies readers. So headlines that apply to everyone, okay, headlines that apply to everyone can just as easily apply to no one. So, sample, why new authors fail and what to do about it. Right? So, kumbaga, kung author ka, sa pool sa'yo yan. Di ba? And kung yun yung ang product mo is about to help authors, gusto mo, ang magpapasa ng emails mo are authors. Di ba? Kaysa masayang oras ng ibang tao na hindi naman interested. So, it's part of qualifying your readers. Then, draws readers into the body copy. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na ang purpose ng subject line is really to make them open the email. Okay? Remember, you're not selling your concept or proposition in the headline. You're making one sale only, the idea of reading the rest of the post. So, sample, does God want you to be rich? So, parang yun lang. Gusto mo mag-open sila ng email nila dahil doon. Okay? Also, communicates a big idea. This is another approach. What is the one true benefit of your post and how can you communicate that to your readers in a way that is meaningful to them? Triple your productivity instantly. So, may iba-ibang approach. Sometimes curiosity-based. Sometimes diretso lantaran ano yung idea. Ang purpose is really just to open the email. Yun ang pinaka-purpose niya at the bottom line. Okay? So, normally, curiosity-based in subject lines gets more open, but not necessarily more clicks. Kasi ang daming tao, curiosity, kumbaga, all types of people will open it. But if you, for example, there's sample earlier on, pang author lang, mas konti mag-open ng emails mo, but very targeted. So, yun yung trade-off niya. And it could also establish credibility. Authority is one of the most powerful ways of gaining attention. If you have an authority card to play it in the headline if possible. Like, for example, a Harvard study shows 3 common traits of successful people. So, may credibility, hindi lang ikaw nagsasabi nito. It's based on a very credible source that people will believe in. Okay? So, ito yung mga different approaches. So, don't necessarily have to have each and every one of this in one subject line. Okay? Pero ito yung iba-ibang approach. Para fresh naman, hindi pa ulit-ulit. Okay? The swipes, I already uploaded that in our Facebook group. Okay? Malinaw so far? Could you type clear in the chat box before I move on? Yeah, Carlo, coming up with catchy subject lines. Yeah, you could use the swipes I uploaded for inspiration. Okay, great. So next, bullet points. Ang purpose ng bullet points is to attract people's attention. Kung napansin mo, if ang haba-haba ng email, then malalaking blocks of text, parang minsan ang hirap basahin, makita mo lang, ayaw mo na basahin eh. So the purpose of bullet points is to break those kinds of blocks of lines, di ba? Actually, we don't want really to write big blocks of lines, so we want shorter sentences, shorter paragraphs. But once in a while, when you see bullet points, parang minsan ma-attract yung mata mo doon eh. Parang gusto ko nga makita to because one, it's easily digestible. Diba? One line lang normally ang bullets eh. It makes people feel the benefit themselves quickly. Kasi very compact ang bullet points that it delivers the benefit of what you're trying to sell or the idea you want to promote. For example, ito medyo madami tayong samples dito. You could create a bullet point with a proprietary name. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Gawa ka ng sarili mong brand, kumbaga, or method. Like the EVS method to cut 4 strokes of your game without changing your swing. So this is for golf niche. So I think EVS method, plus ito yung benefit niya. So makikurious ka what it is about. So it might push you to buy the product or maybe it's something that's contained in a blog post. So makikurious ka basahin yun. So there is the what bullet point. What to do if you hate diet and exercise but still not gain a single pound? If you feel you're still not losing weight no matter how hard you try, then this is for you. So kung ikaw yung kausap talaga nito, you really want to read what he has to offer. Then man opposite, what never. What never to eat on an airplane unless you want to die. So medyo morbid siya, but it gets the attention. Okay? So next is the how-to bullet. How you can use cheese, tomato, and garlic to lose those unwanted pounds in a week. And it's not in your kitchen. Okay? And also itong hint na style, it gives another sense of curiosity na counterintuitive. For example, syempre, cheese, tomato, garlic, you'd assume na nasa kitchen yan. Diba? But yung way na gamitin sila, it's not really found in the kitchen. So ma-curious ka, saan ba yun? So that's another tip na pwede nyo magamit. Something counterintuitive na against the normal grain, pwede nyo i-plant dyan para ma-curious yung tao. Okay, next is transactional. Transactional, for example, give me 3 days and I'll teach you how to buy property with no money down. Okay, so transactional may bigayan. So give me this and I'll give you this. That's another good bullet point. And very tangible, 3 days. So 3 days maiksi na yun. I'm willing to give that to you to learn that skill. Diba? Okay, next is wrong. This is again using counterintuitive methodology. But eating lots of salt in your diet is bad for your blood pressure, right? Wrong. We'll explain why when you order our special report, right? So if there's conventional wisdom, then you have an angle to counter that. You could use this bullet point. Next is if then. If you're over the age of 50 and have found it difficult to get insurance, these simple questions will often get you approved for a life insurance application. So dito naman, we're qualifying the person. So if you're over the age of 50 and yun yung gusto mong i-target talaga, syempre pag narinig nila yun, ako yun and found it difficult to get insurance, then you'll give a solution for them to get one. They'll be very curious about it. And ito na naman, may sneaky trick na naman dito. Like putting the page number, parang curious ka talaga. Like if you're selling the book, they see that page number, parang baka yun pa yung unahin nilang tignan, di ba? It's like him putting it right in front of your face, but parang blurred yung text, right? Parang gusto mong makita, gusto mong luminaw yung text para makita mo yung sagot. And that's the way. That's the power of this bullet. And lastly, the 2-step bullet. What to never do when breastfeeding at night and why. Get this wrong and your child will burp non-stop and look for a new mama. Okay? So, ang power dito na sa parentheses. Right? So, this is a combination of what? And since 2-step siya, ito yung pang curiosity talaga. Getting this wrong. And ito yung downside. And ito yung medyo funny downside, looking for a new mama, which she can't do anyway. So, yeah. Those are the templates, na sample bullets that you could use. So, then you gayahin yan and apply it in your emails. Okay? So malinaw naman ang bullets so far. Is it clear? Okay, there we go. So bullets, we're done with that. Then PS, postscript. Actually, PS, a lot of these materials were, I got them from a great book by Ray Edwards, How to Write Copy That Sells. Okay, he sums in, alam ko yung mga items na to, but the way his book explains it is very, very well and succinct. So very clear yung way niya mag-explain. So that's a good book to get for copywriting. PS is postscript. Normally, ginagamit talaga to dati sa handwritten letter. Diba? Like, may nalimutan kang isulat, kaysa naman isingit mo pa sa taas or magbura ka, just put it below, PS, postscript. So, ihabol mo. So, technically, in the modern age, hindi na talaga kailangan ng PS sa emails. Kasi, pwede mo lang i-edit yung email without erasing the text, diba? But nasanay na kasi tayo eh. And we have a tendency of looking at the PS kahit hindi mo pa nababasa yung email. So we should take advantage of the PS. So for the skimmers na mag-straight pumunta sa PS, it sums up the benefit of your offer, right? Another way to use the PS is to create an open loop for the next email. Okay, I'll talk about open loops more later on. So parang alam mo yung sa TV series na laging may cliffhanger sa huli, the next episode na, you could use PS for that. You could also use it as a mini story that is related to the main content of the email. Okay? So, actually, you'll see this in action later on sa email ni Divine that I'll show you later on. Open loops, okay? It creates a tension in the reader's mind. So, kung nabitin ka, hindi mo alam sino namatay. Well, nakita mo sinaksak, tapos hindi mo nakita sino yung sinaksak. Next episode na. That creates attention in your reader's mind. And people love having closure. So, abangan nila yung next episode ng TV series, di ba? In this case, abangan nila yung next email mo. Right? That's the power of open loops. And it creates a desire to solve that tension, right? It creates anticipation for your next email. Okay, so this is a very powerful tool, no? That one of my mentors really uses it to a very large extent. Si Andre Chaperone of Autoresponder Madness. I'll send you a link to the reference I mentioned, no? So you don't need to copy them. So call to action, meaning every time you send an email, you always want to have a call to action, meaning you want them to act on something. It could either be clicking a link or replying to your email. So we are training our readers to click our link, meaning whenever they click the link, something good happens, right? So for example, it could either lead them to a blog post. So you write an email, make them click the blog post, click to the blog post. When they read the blog post, they are happy. May natuto sila, diba? Keep doing that, and they will be trained that whenever I click on Divine's email or Ramon's email, something good happens. So it will train them to keep on clicking. Okay? So there are times na they click on a sales page na, diba? And if you have a good offer, diba? Even if they have to pay for the product, if they get good experience in return, that still adds on the good experiences, diba? Parang bank siya, you always make a deposit. Always give them a good experience when they click a link, right? And one more important thing, if you don't have blog posts yet or content, it doesn't really have to be your post. For example, if you're a motivational speaker, diba? Or yun yung niche mo, life coaching, you could link to a person, someone maybe like Tony Robbins, may video siya, you could make them click on a YouTube link of Tony Robbins, diba? Even if it's not your content, kumbaga, if they like the video that you send them to, ganun pa rin. It's gonna add on to the good benefits, to the good experience they get whenever they click on your link, whether or not it's your material, okay? And do you think like Tony Robbins would mind you sending traffic to his video? Of course not. And also to reply to your email if there's no click. This way, you'll stand out as well kasi hindi naman lahat nag-reply sa emails ng readers, diba? And if you do, you put yourself in a special place in their mind, right? And also, secondary reason is when you interact with your readers, like replying, answering back on their emails, it tells yung mga email autoresponders, yung mga email service providers that legit itong tao, hindi spam. So, it makes your emails that much more deliverable. Hindi siya mag-end up sa spam. Kasi nakikita ng mga service providers na legit ka. People really interact with you and they don't put your emails under spam. Okay? So, email length, you should mix it up. Sometimes mahaba, sometimes short. What they say is, it should be the length of a woman's skirt. Diba? Parang it's not too long that it's boring, but it's not too high that they can see everything. Parang ganun. Parang just right mix. And you change it up from time to time. If you always send long emails, minsan change it up to a short one. Diba? Para naman fresh, hindi sila mabore sa style. Okay? Okay, with handwriting exercises, like with the sample templates I sent you with headlines, you could write it out by hand. Right? Sulat mo. Para lang, kumbaga, ma-familiarize ka with how to write headlines. That way, parang pag nag-iisip ka, it would become parang muscle memory. Like your brain and your hands muscle na parang since nakita na ng mata mo, nasulat na ng kamay mo, when you're coming up with headlines, it helps to recall those templates that you've got.